The crew worldwide, from Cali to Twitter, real hardcore fans, boxing ass niggas, consistency cops, police the views, we'll pull up receipts for any debate you choose. Shout outs to Clan Archie for the dope production. Ring Gang stay with the best discussions. Ring Gang Radio.
Yeah, what's good, Joe? Welcome to another episode of Real Talk, where, as always, shit's real, we talk about it. I'm your host for tonight, Patscorpio, New England representative, and as always, I got my man with me. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Yo, what it do? It's LB, Lauderdale Boss. I mean, Shutterworth da Gawd, GOAT artist, Soul Wars creator, and gang.
Yes, sir. And as always, I also got another one of my mans with me. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
What it do, baby? It's your boy P, Bodega Boxing, Ring Gang Radio. I'm here. Let's talk about it.
Yes, sir. So the other night, we touched upon the recap, of Thurman and Pacquiao and whatnot. It was a very lively and spirited conversation. So much that we obviously we ran over time a little bit, but that's all right. It happens sometimes. So we didn't get a chance to recap the other fights. I mean, there were other fights this weekend. Ooh. To recap, and I think I'll start with the one that was on Friday, because that one, due to some news that we just got, today, some unfortunate news, from a fight that stemmed on Friday night. So it's I think that'll be a good one to start with. Of course, I'm talking about the Lopez versus Nakatani fight. It was on ESPN Plus. It was, but that was the main event. And that was an eliminator for, I believe it's Kami, is IBF, so it's Kami. So he was gonna face Kami next. But before that fight, there was an interesting co-main event. It was Maxim Dadashev versus Subriel Matias, and that one was an eliminator for IBF 140, which is, I believe, that's held by Josh Taylor. This fight was interesting, in the beginning, because Matias before, his record was like 13-0, 13 knockouts, and Dadashev is 13-0, I think, or 13-0 with 11 knockouts. So we're like, oh yeah, we got two, and I think we had two hard-hitting young prospects on this card. So we should be we're gonna be in for a good fight. The fight was good up until some unfortunate things near the end. This fight, because I remember I was talking to LB during this whole thing. He was texting back and forth. But I was telling him, I was like, man, this fight is kind of like brutal. Dadashev is just like moving forward and trying to, and Matias is just moving him back and is just like lacing him to the body like something serious. He was like fighting like he was like a reconversion of Margarito out there. And it went from Dadashev not really being able to do anything to him being worn down and catching some serious work from Matias, particularly in the final round of that fight, the 11th round, where it looked like in basically like there was a lot of things that was starting to go wrong, how basically Dadashev on because the ring is pretty much it's supposed to be even. There's the ring is put together properly, and he was quote unquote missing a step, like he was overstepping, which is a no-no. Boxers shouldn't really be doing that. No one who doesn't have like some sort of like inner ear problem should be doing that. So we get the really dramatic moments in the corner. Buddy McGirt, great fighter, great trainer. He didn't like what he was seeing, and he was like, do you want to stop this? He's gonna stop this. And he was asking him, Max, do you want to stop? And then Max was somewhat responsive, I guess. I mean, he understood what it was talking, but he was just he didn't want to stop. Yeah, but but his body language was like, body was something was wrong. So there was a little back and forth there. So finally, Buddy's like, yeah, I'm stopping this fight. Mateus, gets the impressive victory. And then after that's when things go south. It went south. Basically, they had him sitting on the ring, on the steps to the ring. They're doing, they're talking to him. They're putting the ice pack in the back of his head and stuff like that. And it seemed to be responding. He was talking, from the footage like this. And they started walking back, and then on camera, and this is where ESPN was just wilding a little bit. They caught Dadashev collapsing. Like you could see that he was really dragging, like he was going down.
Yeah, it wasn't good to see that.
No, it really wasn't. It was.
ESPN kept it real with the footage, though. I mean.
Oh yeah, no.
I guess we all might be desensitized by now, but yeah, it wasn't a nice thing to see. But yeah, it was sad. It just, you knew something was up.
Right, and it wasn't just the collection. Like the cameras were still on him. Like they showed him like being put on the gurney, and they showed him Dadashev like literally the last moments of him like on camera like throwing up.
I was gonna say he was vomiting. Yeah.
Yeah, he's vomiting, and I'm seeing that, and I'm like, oh my god! I was like, this guy must. I was like, this guy has a brain bleed, like and if let's say desensitized. Yeah, to a degree. Yeah, I mean, usually when you hear about, it's hard to see fighters collapse. Like you don't really see that all that much. They collapse sometimes, but it's usually off camera. I can't even tell you the last time I actually saw a fighter collapse on camera. Nor do I want to try to remember because it's not pleasant.
For some reason, it's like the stuff like that always happen on the Friday night fights.
Yeah. It's just like it was just real unfortunate. And when they said that you're reading like Twitter or whatever, and the people that are there, it's like he's vomiting like blood. He's vomiting like heavily. Like the way they said it, like he's like, and they showed some of it on camera. I'm just like, oh crap! Like they got to put this dude to the hospital.
They shouldn't have done all that. Like, and I'm not even saying that like I did like after the fact, like hindsight, but like. When I saw it happen, I'm like, why are they showing this dude like getting stretchered out? Like, I don't think nobody wants to see that shit. Like, and then they like caught him at the end, like where he's vomiting. Like, why are they doing all? Like, why are they doing all? Like, that's completely unnecessary. Like, have some respect for the fighter. Like, if anything else, to not have him showing him in that condition.
Vomiting was too much.
Yeah, I was just like, I mean, it was way too much. Like, it was just like, that was completely unnecessary. Like, the cameraman should have just took that off immediately. And, and like,
we've seen the stretchers before, so I understand that. Like, you want to see the guy, sometimes they have it where they transition, you see him leaving, but if he's really if something's really that going on that bad, where he's doing all of that, then y'all don't need to show all that. Like,
no.
I mean, just thinking back, like, kind of think, was it was a Darchinian fight? Was it Victor Burgos?
Yeah, Victor Burgos.
Yeah, he had to be removed on a stretcher, and that was kind of like, like that was sad to see it. And this was prime Darchinian. He was a beast at that moment. And it just, it's always sad to see. And it just reminds us that boxing, you don't play it. It's brutal. And I know he could probably take away that he went out doing what he loved. Because people do put their life on their line when they do this shit. He is a fighter, a warrior, all the way to the end. It's just sad that, you know, ESPN had to go extra behind the scenes with it.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is that, like, I mean, like, I actually, like, when I was streaming the fight that night, and like while that fight was going on, I ended up like falling asleep because I was tired as fuck. And like, when I woke up to him like seeing him stretchered off. So I'm like, what? That was my first like image of like after the fight, like, cause I missed the fight because I fell asleep. I'm like, what the fuck happened? Like, and then I see like people up commenting on it. So when I ended up watching it, I think like the next day, I think it was Sunday, I watched it, and it was kind of eerie because I honestly felt like it was almost like I was watching a murder unfold. And that shit was like gruesome. Like I mean, I give all the props to Buddy McGirt for just doing, you know, because Buddy was the only one that looked like he even like fucking cared. The rest of them was just like, okay, like not even like responding or anything. Like Buddy was the only one that
side of the fight.
Yeah, and I'm like looking back at it, I'm like, I'm surprised they even let it go on that long, because realistically by the 8th round he was already like taking kind of a little bit too much punishment for my liking, and that was then the next 3 rounds after that, that's just overkill, and it happened, unfortunately.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like he almost felt like he could have been out of there by like the 9th round. Like,
yeah, and then like when he's being asked like, "Are you okay? Like, stop the fight." Like you could see like in his eye, like it's almost that you know the lights are on but nobody's home. Like he's not like he's there, but he's not saying anything. He's not responding. Like it's almost like when I looked at like in his face, like I just saw like a blank facial expression, like kind of just like moved his head for a little bit, but not like the eyes weren't like nothing was like really like registering. So yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, it was. So I mean, and then obviously he was rushed to the hospital, and then, you know, we got the updates that, you know, that he was, you know, he had some bleeding in his head. He had a hematoma. You know, he was talking, but he lost consciousness. You know, and then you hear all this stuff, and like that's not really good. You know, if he's talking, at least, you know, that's good. That's a good sign that his vitals are still on point. But when he lost consciousness, then I think that was pretty much it. You know, they did the emergency brain surgery, and they were like, oh, it did. You know, he's doing well after that. But of course, you know, medical law says, you know, unless like the family member was there and his wife was not there, they couldn't really reveal what his actual condition was. And like shortly after she did get to the hospital, then of course we got the news that he had passed away this morning from complications of that fight. You know, and he was 28, 29 years old, man.
28. He was 28. Yeah. He was born the same year as me, so he was just same age as me. Damn.
Yeah, and it was just like, and he was already a human interest story too. Like, I mean, he was basically fighting for a green card. He wanted to bring his wife and his kid over. You know, he was learning English. Like, I mean, he spoke English, but he was trying to learn it. Like, you know, he was really trying to learn it. It was just like he basically, you know, he was fighting for a better life. He wanted to be a champion, and it just puts into perspective like how much these fighters, once they get into this, you know, how much they really sacrificed. And
what's the time? Because it almost sounded like he had the Ray Beltran story right there.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it sounds like Beltran.
Except no, Beltran spoke English. You know.
Well, I mean, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just saying you flip the Mexico with Russia, and you basically have the exact same story.
Right. Yeah.
Give him some years. You know, give him some more years. One thing I like to say, like, you know, I know cats probably looking at Buddy McGirt, you know, like, damn, why not earlier? You know, Buddy McGirt got that eye, but I know hindsight's 2020. But you know, this is the reason why he stopped that Hatton Milanavi fight.
Yeah.
And honestly, Paulie was taking I felt like Paulie was taking a worse beating, you know, than this guy, and you know, it just goes to say everybody, you know, it's an individual sport. You don't know who's tougher, who's breaking point is further down the road. You know, that's why you got to look at everybody and watch out for him, because, you know, fighter going in there, he gonna go out on his shield, and, you know, you got to help him, you know, realize that, you know, hey, you're taking punishment, you can't do this no more. And, you know, it's hard to make those judgment calls, but, you know, Buddy's actually pretty good at it, you know. So I know people probably looking at him like he could have did earlier. So I just want to, you know, it ain't his fault, man. Shit happens, man.
Yeah, I mean, boxing. Boxing at its core is just, you know, it's two fighters hurting each other. You know, they're taking blunt force trauma over and over again. That's what it is. You know, that's what I mean. And like I said, everybody's body's different. Some bodies can take it genetically, you know, can take it and walk away fine with little to probably no issues. And some, all it takes is just one fight, one punch, and it's over. You know? And Dadashev, I mean, he was one of those people that he wasn't struggling in any type of way, physically or anything like that. He just, unfortunately, he ran into somebody who punched harder than him, and, you know, and unfortunately, you know, it cost him. So I know now. I mean, this fight's in the news now in terms of safety, boxing safety, all types of stuff like that. You know, which is another part of the unfortunate fallout of this. You know, it's like, and yeah, that's where, like, I'll be mentioning about Buddy McGirt and everything. You know, could he have stopped it early? He probably could have, but you know, like I said, you know, in the end, like I said, hindsight is 2020, and you know, and he's human. Like, you know, sometimes, I mean, humans err. You know, we're not flawless people. You know, humans.
Yeah, because dude was still being competitive. Like,
exactly.
It's not like it wasn't like completely one. That's why I compared it to the Hatton Milanaji, because after the first 2 rounds, it's like Hatton just was beating dude. Like, and this fight, it's like you had a good 5 or 6 rounds where it's like, okay, you know, it's, you know, it's a pretty even fight. They're going at it. One guy might have an edge, but you know, guys are fighting. You gonna give them a chance, but then sometimes it just get to a point where, okay, this guy no longer has a realistic chance now.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of was. In comparison, he kind of was putting up, I would say, more of a fight than when Pritchard Colon got knocked out. But that was another sad one. But that's just another example of how, you know, fucking one fight. All it takes is one fight, and your life can change.
Yep.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, and you know, prayers and, you know, condolences to his family, and yeah, like I said, I mean, we know in the end, like, you know, it's sad and it's very sad. But like I said, the boxers know what they signed up for. I mean, we have to make sure that's also understood too. Because some people are like, you know, well, you know, boxers didn't want to die. I mean, no, of course they don't want to die, but they know that getting hit to the body and head over and over again is dangerous, and they're very aware of that. So,
I mean, I gotta say, I didn't even want to bring it up, but it kind of made me angry, you know. I see all these boxers send out their condolences, and, you know, bring up dudes like, you know, on Instagram and Twitter, and then you have fucking Adrian Broner, fucking post up the dude, and he didn't even really say nothing about him. He basically just made it all about him. Oh, see, now y'all see I do what I do, because this could have been me, and it still could be me. I'm just like, motherfucker, this isn't about you. Like,
yeah, I got what he was saying. I understood what he meant, but it just, he said it in the most egotistical, self-centered way possible.
Yeah. Like, a dude has died, a man lost his life because of a fight in the ring, and you're kind of putting yourself over. Like, that just rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah, like, if you're gonna say something like this, it's like I felt like there was a more more tactful way he could have expressed that. You know, I got his point, but yeah, it wasn't really, a nice thing. You know, it wasn't a good thing to say like that.
Right.
And I hope there's a behind-the-scenes story where he paid for the funeral or some shit. He feel that strongly about it. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah, you know, be all like that. You know, because a lot of times you don't hear about the shit that niggas do on, you know, the back end of shit. So who knows? So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I mean, it's unfortunate, and you know, kind of put a damper on the night somewhat, because I know Tim Bradley was really spazzing about, you know, he was spazzing about this, you know, getting hit and not get hit and everything like that, and he was like, he's not the same, and, you know, and there was also a lot of insensitivity toward with that team too. Like, I mean, personally, I think some of them need like media training in terms of how they're supposed to handle something like that when they see it. But I mean, I'm just talking about maybe they're just caught in the moment, the unexpected moment.
I'm not surprised with Bradley, because Bradley is a guy that's through his career taken way too much unnecessary punishment and put himself in positions where he shouldn't be taking that punishment, and he does anyway. So
Right.
He probably knows that feeling of he's taking too much punishment. So he felt some type of way, because he could relate to that kind of, not like, you know, the end result, but just the taking way too much punishment. He knows.
Sure, no, he definitely knows. I mean, like, his whole career was shortened because he took too much in one fight, you know, and he never fully recovered. So,
yeah, because his punch resistance went down after that Provodnikov fight, and before that he still had a chin. He always had a chin, but it's not the same, man.
Yeah, no, yeah, it got dented, and it was a slow decline. But when, you know, towards the end, you know, it was clear that Timmy had seen better days, or was going to be seeing, going to be seeing better days. You know,
Fighting Pacquiao 3 times don't help it either.
Nah, not at all. You know, again, of course, once again, rocked by Jesse Vargas. I mean, rocked to your core by Jesse Vargas is also, you know.
Kendall Holt put him down twice. I remember from back in the day, Kendall Holt putting him down twice.
Yeah, but
one of the nastiest uppercuts I've ever seen. My goodness.
But of course, Kendall Holt can actually punch. That was the thing, you know. So that's not surprising.
Bradley would have survived that Kendall Holt moment if it would have happened after the Provodnikov fight.
No, he wouldn't. Not at all. You know, he would have been done. You know, so yeah, so I mean, that's why you saw Bradley. He obviously felt some sort of way and everything like that. So, you know, it's unfortunate that it happened. And then, of course, you know, it takes us to, of course, after all that, you know, the main event, and you're like, wow, you're just like, you know, you're almost like mentally exhausted from watching all this fallout from that fight. You know, we had Teofimo Lopez and was it Masayoshi Nakatani? There we go. Now, usually when I see an Asian fighter on there, Japanese fighter, I always like to use the term random unknown Asian, because like I said, every now and then, like a top prospect or a champion gets matched up with a random unknown Asian fighter. Most of the time it's Japanese, and sometimes they don't follow the script, and you know, they either give the champion or prospect a hard time, or they beat him flat out. You know, and this was Teofimo Lopez's time, you know, turn to get the random unknown Asian. And then from this fight, Nakatani was a 6 foot, 135-pound lightweight. You know, I remember I was telling LB.
Big in there.
Yeah, he was. And I remember I was like, if you ever go on Boxrec, his picture just looks like he's vexed for no reason. So I'm thinking to myself,
making that weight.
Yeah, that. So I already knew it was like he's probably ready for war. And of course, Teofimo Lopez is doing what he usually does, he was like, hey, it's gonna be nothing and anything like that. And the bell rang. It was very interesting. One thing is for sure. One thing that immediately that was Nakatani was tagging Teofimo pretty frequently. You know, he was awkward, but he was catching it. Teofimo, you could see the wheels in his head spinning. Like he was really trying to figure out what was the best plan of attack on him because his reach was Nakatani's reach is longer than his. He appeared bigger, like we just said. Like he didn't know what to do with this dude at all.
And you know what? He's lucky that Nakatani wasn't fighting like a big man supposed to.
Right.
Cause dude was hunched over like he was fucking George Groves, and it's like he was taking away like 2 or 3 inches off his height. So I'm like, so to me, that's why I absolutely felt what Timmy was saying afterwards when he was saying, you know, it don't matter if the guy's tall. Like I fought tall guys all the time. Like, and you know what? He's honestly right. Like he's honestly right. Like he was like Lopez won. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't no questionable type of decision or fight, but he struggled and he looked kind of ordinary or maybe extraordinary or above average. Yeah. You know, he
looked pretty ordinary.
He looked pretty ordinary, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, certain shots I was like, okay, yeah, he landed a good shot, but I felt like he wasn't really consistent enough to really dominate this dude like he's supposed to. Like when he would land a good shot, he would never finish it up, you know, work the body or trying to swarm him with his athleticism. You know, he didn't have a jab that was just consistent, that just competed with dude. It just felt like he was just in there, and whatever shot he could take, he would just take it, and then nigga in there, and you know, oh, okay, I get hit 3 times, now let me hit this dude with a good counter punch. Like, I wasn't impressed. Like, I didn't think he looked horrible, but he didn't look impressive. Like, if I had to rate him, it was like maybe a C+.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I give him a C-. I was not impressed at all.
Damn.
And honestly, and I fucks with Teofimo. Heavy pause. But he's kind of shown signs of a guy that's fallen in love with his power a little bit too much, because he didn't really, like what you said, he didn't set up anything, no jab, no, like, he's just trying to hit the jab with hard shots and counter him here and there. It's like you didn't set him up with anything. There was no jab. It was foolishness. Like, and yeah. I mean, like what you said, Pat, I've always I laugh because I'm like, oh, it's the Japanese, because my rule of thumb is anytime a known fighter is going up against an unknown, either Japanese, Colombian, or Argentinian, something's gonna go wrong. And it's always spoilers, always something with those Japanese and Colombians, like something with that. But yeah, and he made Teofimo just look bad. He won. He definitely won. I'm not going to dispute that, but he didn't look good doing it. And these fights are supposed to be showcase fights. I mean, not really showcase fights, but like you're supposed to look good in these fights.
Right.
Awful.
Hey, we told y'all it wasn't a showcase fight last week.
Yeah.
We remember that was the whole topic. Like, is this a showcase? I'm like, nah, this nigga too unknown. It's an eliminator. Nah, it's too much risk involved. Not a showcase fight. And he lucky it wasn't, because it'd be looking a lot worse if it was a showcase fight.
Right, exactly.
Imagine if he already had beat Kami or whatever, got a title, and he fights this nigga and looks this bad.
Yeah.
And then the fucking him and his pops were frustrated as hell, because me and PJ was like texting at the time of the fight, and it's like he's like, yo, did this dude just say fuck this nigga?
Yeah, exactly.
He did.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, did they really drop it? And then pretty much after that, they muted the corners. They no conversation. They didn't have none of that conversations.
Tell people that it's funny. That shit had me dying.
Yeah, no, but Andre Ward didn't like that very much. He talked about it on air about that too, about using the N-word. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Andre Ward was not feeling that at all. You know. You know, I mean, but of course, that's a whole different other conversation.
Yeah, because we have like this, like, you know, no black person around in that ring, and you know, y'all saying this shit. You say it to a Japanese guy, like,
exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not even at no. It's like the setting was just wrong, like, and it's like you gotta calm down. You know, let niggas fight through their adversity sometimes. Don't panic. Like they was panicking, like, you know, this Ipo opponent was down beating this guy's ass. like goddamn, like, yo, chill, like, you know, that's what I'm saying. It's like they made it, like the way they with their frustration made it look worse.
Well, and this plays into why I said like what I said about no, it's not a showcase fight. Yeah, you're right, it's not a showcase fight. But like when you look, like whenever a known guy is going up against an unknown guy, most people's thoughts is, oh well, this guy's unknown, so who is he? This known fighter should handle it with ease. This guy's unknown for a reason, but it doesn't always turn out that way. And then when it doesn't turn out that way, people fucking panic. Everybody's getting frustrated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
that's how it goes, you know. And like I said, it went the distance, and even then too. I remember, I mean, Teofimo, he did that backflip, and it was just like he didn't put no emotion to it. He was just like, well, I just did a backflip. You know, I won barely. Oh no, I mean he barely won to me, but the scorecard said otherwise. You know, and it's just like they barely had
that nigga. Like, I don't know if the fire ain't seem all the way there in the fight either though.
Nah. And
like I never got that urgency from him. Like not even the whole like I can't adapt, but I'll fight harder anyway. Like I ain't even get that.
Yeah, no, it was just and I'm just thinking that maybe he's probably having an issue with him cutting weight again, because you know he's not long for 135 either. You know,
both of they, I don't know why they just couldn't agree to just fight at 138 or some shit.
Because it's an eliminator. That's why.
Yeah, it's an eliminator. You have to fight. Yeah, fight for the title. Right. Like honestly, like yeah. I mean, Teofimo probably has maybe 2 fights left at 135, if that. Like, I can't see anymore. But he wants the IBF. He wants to fight, you know, the champion, and then he wants Lomachenko. So I think he'll stomach it for those 2 fights, and that's it. And this dude already said he has like fucking 3 different fucking personal trainers, like watching him, making sure he's like staying good with his weight. Like, how the fuck do you need 3 different personal trainers to like watch your weight for you?
Yeah,
like,
just hire one Chris Algieri. Like the fuck,
right?
Like, all these damn like, I don't know, man. I just don't want to see. You know, I don't want to be too hard on the performance, because like Bradley, I felt was going overboard with the whole exposed. You know, you have to look a lot worse than that for me to see exposed. Like Kelly and Robinson. Yeah, I felt like Kelly was exposed in that fight.
Yeah,
I will say that
that's a robbery. Like, but this fight, Lopez just looked bad. Like he got to work on some things. You know, he wasn't impressive. You know, he doesn't look like the guy, you know, we all saying that, yo, shit, you know, he could give Kami that work and go to Lomachenko, you know, because if he struggled with this guy, you know, and I'm not saying Kami perfect, but the punches this guy landed, you know, Kami lands those, you know.
Could be nice.
You comparing the light, you know, pressing the triangle to a nigga throwing fireballs and shit, though. That's all I'm saying.
It's funny, though, because that night, like halfway, like almost like 2/3 of the way through the fight, my homeboy texted me and he's like, somewhere in the country, wherever he is, fucking Devin Haney must be licking his chops right now with a big ass smirk on his face. Because he probably is, because he looked terrible. I'm not terrible, like he just most people would say he looked really bad. So like that, and they both been talking shit, and fucking Haney's been talking a lot of shit about Teofimo. So it's like almost kind of now that fight's gonna put the battery in his back. Oh, see, I told you he not all that. They they protected him. Like it's gonna be interesting to see where
they not even protecting Lopez though. Like Lopez competition has been has been solid. Like
very.
Like I don't get it. Like honestly, I think his competition has been better than Haney's. You know, we haven't seen Haney fight no unknown Japanese cat that's 6 feet tall that looked like he could be a welterweight. Dude looked like he could be fighting Crawford next. And Lopez is fighting him. Like, I mean, come on. That's what I'm saying. It's like, that's why this whole exposed word and all this, you know, niggas just be waiting around for someone to look bad before they get say, I told you he wasn't shit. But like with Wilder, like, you know, with Joshua losing, it's like, yeah, I told you wasn't shit. You know? Like y'all niggas ain't make the fight. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like,
to be fair, I have said this and I've been on record as saying this elsewhere, that to me, of like the young guys, Teofimo is the most boom or bust of all of them. He will either be a champion or he will bottom out. Like, I don't see an in between with him. It's either all or nothing for Teofimo. I just like, from seeing him fight and the qualities and like what he brings to the table. His floor is really low compared to like Haney and Shakur. So,
but I think his potential, like, he got the highest with his style and everything. But if he's losing that momentum now, then he really has to turn it around, because it makes me want to ask you guys this. Like, seeing how everything's looking with his weight and this, you know, it's affecting the performances, you know, more and more. You know, slightly, but now you really see it. But it was a difficult opponent style. Do you think he should just stay at 135 and get and gamble on these shots, or go build his name up at 140 and try to angle out a title shot after shit get, you know, kind of settled down? Because he got the name. Who wouldn't want to fight this kid?
But I think he wants the belt. But that's the thing.
Yeah. If he's got these opportunities right now, if he's basically being guaranteed Comey and Lomachenko next, he's got to take it. Like, if you could make it 135,
you just got to bite the bullet and train.
Yes, track it up.
Because if he doesn't, you know, it could oscillate. What the fuck? It could also backfire on him. Because if you take a lot of punishment in the Kami fight, you know, sometimes, you know, you take the type of punishment that you're not supposed to take and your body's not 100%, or you're undertrained or you're overtrained, it reacts differently. So, you know, he can't really lose if he's doing this, because it's a gamble. Because if he take a beating or he lose, it could stun his progression.
Yeah, that's also very true. Oh man, so yeah, Teofimo's.
I mean, you're right, but at this point, it's like, what other better option is there? Because what's he gonna do? Go to 140 and fight who? Because at 140, I don't know. I'm just like, especially on the top rank side, I'm just not. You might as well go for the guys like right now that you can. And
I mean, there's names at 140, but it's just he would still have to kind of build his rep up. Like,
yeah,
you know, he would have to kind of slow him down and say, look, you know, you have to adjust to a higher weight division. You know, you could get a title there. You know, believe in yourself. And just slow his career down and just build him up, and in time, you know, he'll get a title. He'll get a title at 140 or a title shot at 140. Because right now, you know, if he can do better than what he's doing right now, who knows if he's able to even make it to 140?
True,
because the fight don't happen if he loses the Kami.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's basically, you know, Teofimo's little issue right there. And like I said, I mean, it was good for the young cat to get that type of experience or whatever. So we get this really, I mean, to me, I think, you know, it could only help in his development as a fighter. And if he takes it the right way, it actually, you know, and it really works on improving it, you know. But so yeah, I mean the book. I mean the book is not closed on him yet, you know. But a couple pages have already been turned. You know what I'm saying? So so yeah, I mean that was that ESPN card, and there was.